Good morning, I'm Michael Rowland on Yorta Yorta country in Echuca in northern Victoria, where this city, in fact this region, is facing not just days, not just hours, but days of a flood emergency. Here in Echuca, I'm in the central business district of this city. The Campaspe River behind me is still at major flood levels, and the Murray is expected to peak midweek, with communities across the river in New South Wales also on high alert. Southeast to where I am in Shepparton and Marupna, the Goulburn River is set to peak later today or tonight, with flood levels similar to that experienced back in 1974. The Avoca River near Charlton is also expected to peak later today, and there are predictions that right across Victoria, up to 34,000 homes will either be inundated or isolated by floodwaters. And there are major worries about what's ahead, with dire forecasts of more rain across eastern Victoria as the week goes on. As I mentioned, I'm here in the CBD of Echuca. This massive wall of sandbags was put in place over the course of the weekend. Patrick Pellegrino is a local, one of the many hundreds who helped bring these sandbags in. Tell us about the effort involved here, Patrick.
It was a huge effort. Everyone from the army to mums and dads and kids and, football community. The whole community really just jumps in and gives a hand. So people just walking past, jump in, they just want to help.
How does that make you feel as a local?
Oh, it's great. It's just, pretty heartwarming, yeah.
So for the time being, it has saved this CBD, this wall of sandbags. How are you feeling? Are you a bit nervous about what might lie ahead in the next few days?
Yeah, my worry is the Goulburn. When that gets here, the Goulburn water, that's the main thing. If this can clear, which, I think the Murray's starting to slow down a little bit, which is a bit of a concern. Yeah.
So this is the Campaspe River here. So you reckon it's actually gone up a bit based on your assessment from the weekend?
Yeah, we put some marks out here yesterday, and I think it's gone up about probably 70 mil, but it's still flowing. It's probably slowed down a little bit, I think, to what it was yesterday. Probably because the Murray's, at its height and not flowing, so it is a concern. Yeah.
You in fact live across the Murray in Moama in New South Wales. I notice a big caravan park there. The residents have been ordered to leave urged to leave by New South Wales SES this morning. So that town is facing a bit of a threat too.
Yeah, look, Moa's a little bit higher. It generally floods out the Victorian side first, but you were sandbagging over there yesterday at a caravan park, and I'm heading back over to Marul to have a look what's going on over there. So, yeah.
Patrick, really appreciate your time, and well done, mate, on your efforts over the weekend. You've helped save this city for the time being. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Patrick Pellegrino there, one of the many hard-working locals, volunteering his time to help save lives and property here. Let's go to Shepparton now and bring in the Mayor of Greater Shepparton, Shane Sarley. Shane, good morning to you. So what's the latest information you have about the threat facing your city?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me. Look, at this point, it's stable, which is an important message to put out there, that the current Goulburn River is just sitting over 12.05. We're obviously expecting it to rise perhaps beyond that point. Quite a nervous night last night, but at this particular point, it's stable, which is a sense of positive message in a really challenging time.
What's the latest information you have as the Mayor about the number of homes inundated by floodwaters?
Yeah, so look, we're talking around about 7,000 properties that have been impacted by the floodwater. Now, that's not 7,000 homes having water go through their front lounge room. That's 7,000 properties impacted and perhaps isolated. We're talking about large residential estates that don't have the ability to connect to any other services because key routes to their properties have been impacted. So they're on high ground, but they can't get access to anything. So it's impacting people in different ways at the moment.
Okay, and have you got an indication of how many people, not everybody evacuated of course, but those who did, how many people from your Greater Shepparton area that are in evacuation centres, in relief centres?
Yeah, so we've got just over 500 people across two relief centres that we currently have set up, one in Shepparton and another one in Takshura. There are more relief centres that are opening today as well, with an expected increase of community members requiring that support. So at this particular point, about 500 people, but there's a number of services and support networks in there to give assistance to those that are facing some very challenging circumstances at the moment.
Shane, the Goulburn River hasn't reached the peak as forecast, as feared yesterday. It's still pretty high though. So what are your feelings? What are your thoughts What are your fears? What are your concerns about the days ahead?
No, look, right now I'm actually quite calm in this particular circumstance. Like I said, quite nervous going into last night. Calm, we've got to be patient. It's very stable at the moment, and that's an important message. So it hasn't increased to a level that we thought would be offering more concern to our community. Obviously, there's a level of community out there that are inundated. We've got businesses that are impacted. So right now the focus is to just remain calm. We be patient. There's a huge amount of support crew out there. The ADF are here. We're going to get out to those communities that might be isolated and get this recovery process underway as soon as possible.
Okay, and that recovery process, and it's great to hear you getting all that help, all that support, but the recovery process, based on all the pictures we can see for your area, is going to take a fair bit of time.
It is. It is going to be a long process, and that's why we're saying we need to be patient. We need to be calm in this circumstance. We've got a lot of resources here supporting the community. We were able to prepare as we best possibly could for what was potentially ahead of us. But the whole community has come together to support those in need right now, even with the sandbagging that's going on over my shoulder. And we're going to continue that support right through this process until we get going again.
Okay, that's great to hear. Shane Sarley, the Mayor of Greater Shepparton, and really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.